Hello and welcome to the Rhythm Factory. I'm Eddie C, and together with my co-host Peter D, we're going to bring you in touch with people in and around the music business. This is the podcast that takes you up close and personal. Hi everybody, and welcome once again to the Rhythm Factory podcast, the podcast that brings you up close and personal. My name is Eddie C, and to my right, my colleague Mr. Peter D, and today's special guest is Mr. Tim Treffers. And welcome to our show, Tim.
Yeah, thanks.
You're a singer, songwriter, and we're busy with a new project. The title of the album is called "Never Trust a Man in a Fur Coat," which was fun to work on. I actually say the opening lines in there. Never trust a man in a fur coat. But you're working with two fantastic producers, Eric van der Brink and Tim van Merlen.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how that whole collaboration came together, and how did you come up with the name "Never Trust a Man in a Fur Coat"? I mean, what's the whole idea behind it?
Yeah, I always wear a fur coat in summer and winter, every whole year long.
Oh, so the song is about you.
Yeah.
About you.
Yeah. Don't trust me, because everything you're telling me, I might write a lyric about it. Right. So every personal stuff and that kind of stuff.
All right. Man.
Don't trust me. Don't trust the man in the fur coat.
All right. So you're the man in the fur coat.
Yeah, it's me.
All right.
Yeah.
But you didn't have it on you when you came in, right?
No, not today. It's
so we can trust you right now.
Today you can trust me.
Okay.
But only today. Yeah.
All right. It's good to know.
But tell us a little bit more about the album. How you came along with doing your collaboration with it, and of course your two wonderful colleagues that you're working with.
Yeah.
Can you break it down a little bit more to us? How it all came about? And
I met Tim van Meulen, who is the son of Hans van Meulen. Mm-hmm. You know him. You worked with him, and we made music like every week at the evening hours. And one day we wrote a fantastic ballad called "Break the Chain." It was on the album too. And then he said we have to record it in the studio, and I said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." That was the beginning.
Okay, and how did Eric get involved?
He knew the producer with the studio, Eric.
Okay.
So we had a place to record, and he played the guitars and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's your debut album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first.
Well, it's pretty hard nowadays to release an album, actually.
Yeah.
So thumbs up for the fact that you just do that. And it's a great album with great people on it.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's hard to release an album nowadays because the music business changed, and the role and the input from record companies changed too. So how did this album came to life? You did it all by yourself, or tell a bit more about it?
Yeah, I did it all by myself. I paid it all by myself. Afterwards, Eric has his own little label too, called Brinker Media, so it's released on that label, but it's so small. It's not
not a major label.
No, they don't pay me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I paid it all myself, and we hired musicians sometimes they just did it for fun and stuff.
Like me.
Like you, yeah, great.
But you're in stores, right? I mean,
I'm in stores too.
How did you get that happening? I mean, mostly it's
whole
done because with a record company and all that stuff. So
yeah, I noticed you can do your distribution all by yourself. I just go to all major stores and offer them CDs, and you sign contracts for like 6 months or something, and they just put it in stores. Yeah.
Wow,
all right. And it's also downloadable on iTunes, I presume.
It's on iTunes, yeah.
Yeah. That's something you did via Media Brink
yeah.
Media. Right.
So it's on all the
major channels, major, let's say, ways of getting it out there. Are you doing also your promotion as far as plugging your record?
No.
You got a plugger that goes to the record stations, or you have someone who's doing that, or you're not doing it yourself?
No. I have a plugger. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
because it actually just got released. What was it?
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
right?
ago. Wow, that's pretty fresh.
So
Yeah.
I wish you a lot of success with that, man. You know, it's, and can you tell us a little bit about the style of music that you're making on it? Because I mean, I know about it, but our listeners maybe not be interested to know a little bit more about the style of music or direction. I hear little hints of George Michael in there.
Everyone's saying it, but I don't hear it.
No, but you know, we were listening to it, and you know, I had a vision like singer-songwriter, and you know, it's always something like, you know, a Dylan kind of thing, you know, acoustic guitar, singing songs. But there's a lot of funky elements in your, and
Thanks to Tim Vermeulen, who is a funky bastard.
that's a very fresh approach to singer-songwriter, actually.
Yeah, but how do you? Why do you call it singer-songwriter? Or
I don't know, but that's a bit of the introduction. I mean, you're a singer-songwriter, and that's a bit of the image that I got from you.
No, it's not true. Yeah, I am a singer-songwriter, but it's not the Bob Dylan and James Morrison kind of stuff you're expecting. Then no, it's people say it's a bit Steely Dan, a bit Wouter Hamel, Dutch. Yeah, that's Stevie Wonder kind of influences. Yeah.
Pretty soulful.
But you don't hear the George Michael's influences in it.
No.
Yeah, we compare it even. Yeah, you know,
the voice
always,
or the music?
Well,
No.
a little bit of the voice, but as well as a voice, certain little pieces of music. It has this sort of. There's a couple albums George Michael released, let's say in his later solo career, and what was the one particular album?
Faith. We
talked about the Faith album. There are a couple of tracks, and we meant as a compliment, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that I'm going, okay, yeah, all right, just got that little thing going here and there, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I don't know his music good enough to. I only know the Club Tropicana kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like the video though.
The old Wham stuff.
Wham.
Yeah. Well, you're recording also in studio, but you're also going to be performing in a lot of live situations. And my question to you: do you feel more comfortable performing live, or are you more comfortable sitting behind a microphone in the studio? Because there's always this thing of, I've seen a lot of singers which I adore live performing, and then they come into the studio and they kind of like, all of a sudden there's this microphone and there's this claustrophobic feel, and they can't express themselves like they're doing on stage because they need to have the people in the ambience to perform. Yeah. On the other hand, I've seen other singers that go in the studio and like throw it out like it's a piece of cake, but when they get on the stage, so where do you sit in that situation as an individual artist?
Yeah, I like both. I like being in studio.
Feel comfortable on both?
Yeah. I like writing in my own house and recording stuff a lot. It's really became my second home in the year we recorded it.
Yeah.
But I also like perform and have the interaction with the public and stuff, and make a little joke between the songs and stuff. I like both. Yeah.
No, I was just curious. Do you plan on touring or something? And as far as the CD is concerned, or are you gonna go on the road as a tape artist or?
Yeah, also yeah. Now a lot of tape stuff I did and I'm gonna do, but also acoustic gig next week for a record store day.
All right.
And I have a band now from Herman Brood Academy in Utrecht.
All right.
So youngsters with a lot of ambitions.
All right.
Like me.
Yeah. Because you're going to you're also studying there now, or
no.
Okay, so you just know some of the kids coming out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
What is your approach with them? Is it like they gotta play it the way it's on the CD or on your album? Or are you open to new influences?
Sure.
Yeah.
They don't. I want the 70s vibe from the album and the trumpets and stuff. I want it live too, but they can play it like they want to play it.
Okay. The songs that you did on your album, can you kind of like break them down? Of course, we basically spoke about the title track. but there's a couple of beautiful ballads on there as well. And let's say your experiences or the songs that you got on that you put on this album, is it based on that one concept of the never trusting the man in the fur coat, or are there just a lot of good songs you said, I want to have all these songs and then this is going to be the title of the album?
Yeah, the last. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does not. How do you call it? One
Concept.
concept. No.
Can you tell us a bit more about some of your favorite songs on the track that you say? I mean, I know you probably find them all your favorite, but I mean, there must be one or two. I was at your CD presentation a couple of weeks ago, and of course the ballads seem to be really going over pretty well with the public as well. Can you tell a bit more about a couple of those ballads that you did?
Yeah, I like the ballads most. In fact, "Break the Chain" is a ballad. It was the first song we wrote with a beautiful choir with Diane Marshall, Scarlett Hollestelle, the daughter of Hans Hollestelle, and Renske Kupper, who is also famous in the session. Yeah. So it's a very beautiful song. And I like "Say Goodbye." It was the end of the album. It's this very small little 10cc kind of choir thing.
Yeah. Now some nice songs on there, and of course it's a good sound as well. And I mean, I loaned it. Actually, you have my CD.
I have yours, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And you ain't gonna get it back, man. But no.
Well, listen. You got another question? Or?
Yeah, well, I was wondering because you're quite new on the scene, actually, or better said, you started your journey to make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Is this your full-time job to write songs and to perform and to make an album or make albums, or do you have something else going on for you?
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I work for Dutch television.
Okay.
But it's nice too, very nice too. But this is my side project. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I like both.
But what are you doing? What's your function with the Dutch television?
Creating TV shows for children.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You should create one with live music and kids.
Yeah.
That needs to come on the market.
Yeah.
You need to get kids off of the computers and off of the iPhones and off of the smartphones altogether and let them play music.
Yeah, but it's like the Voice Kids and stuff. It's beginning to, right?
Yeah.
It's you mean more educational?
Well, more
more
educational, more in the educational sense, but also I think that there's not enough shows on TV that project on other elements around the music. It's basically about singers or singer-songwriters, but you don't really get many programs where, let's take for example a show like Jules Holland in England, where you have different styles of music on one stage, and it's one big melting pot. It's still one of the most looked at shows on television, in England and abroad. Something like that should happen, I think, more in the other countries in the Benelux, as well as creating more live things for kids. I mean, you have once in a while talent shows. I was at one last night, and youth, they're all singing, playing their guitars, playing drums, playing instruments, keyboards, and it was really a great experience to see that, and maybe just something you can throw into your program.
Maybe
because there's a hole in the market for that, and if the kids don't see it, they don't get the education to bring it out, and so it's just something, a little tip maybe you can throw on to your television producers. To try and let's bring the music back to the kids, the purity of the music back to kids, because a lot of kids play instruments, but then they get disillusioned because they turn the TV on and they don't see much which is going to motivate them to play anymore. So.
Well,
You should make a format for it, and we're gonna.
Oh man, I got a format. I have a format from here to Tokyo.
Oh.
For you, man. Believe me.
Okay.
But listen,
So-
Tim, you say like you work for television and this is a side project, but listening to your CD and the quality of the songs and the quality of what you make actually, a side project seems to be a little underrated if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It's more than that. And my question is, do you want to get more out of it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The
What are your
most.
plans? Tell us a little bit about it.
I want that #1 hit, and the performances in Japan, and I want it all.
Okay.
I want it all.
Yeah. So it's a little more than a side project.
Yeah, but
basically.
now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a side project because I have to earn my money, of course.
Sure.
Sure, you got to make a living. Of
Yeah,
course.
and nobody knows my name at this point, so I have to fight for it first. Then
Let me ask you another question while we're here, because you're being in the TV world. What is your idea about how you see today's media, television media, as far as the music scene is concerned?
very bad, very bad. There are like 1 or 2 shows you can perform on right now, so it's very bad. Yeah.
But they're none as a real musician. Outside, unless you're singing, right?
Hmm.
But I'm talking about there's
Oh.
nothing.
No, there's nothing at all. It's very bad.
And what is your opinion about? I always say I hate to judge music, because I find music is personal by people. Everybody should have their own opinion about what they like to listen to and don't like to listen to. But how do you see that for yourself? And what would be, for example, you're young talent, and you've experienced now the whole way of making your record, bringing it out there. What would you like to say to our listeners and our viewers about how to go about it? From your own experiences that you made, because you're that young generation. You're part of that generation.
Yeah.
And what can you say to your peers that's going to maybe motivate them to
To do
look
the
at
same.
television and to look at television from a different way? Look at the music from a different way. Because as long as people are calling in and sending SMSs and paying for certain programs, it's not gonna change. It's only gonna get worse.
Hmm. Yeah.
We live in a society now where everything is reality. It's all about reality TV, and how much of it is reality and how much of it is fake.
Aha, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's one big, but that's television. It's one fake jungle, right?
A large part of it is, I believe so.
Yeah.
But in doing that, there are still programs like I mentioned this guy, this Jules Holland, where they still have musicians coming and jamming and playing together.
Yeah.
Are you more for that, or
Yeah,
are
of
you,
course. But there are,
because I'm trying to get. I want
Yeah.
we've got some difference in age, and I'm always interested in what the younger generation wants to bring to that. Are there any things you personally would like say? This is what I want, other than my music taking off. What do I want to leave behind or tell my peers? That's an important factor as well.
What kind of programs I want, you mean? Or
Well, what would you like to see yourself if I turned on my television?
I want a big jam program, yeah. Put all kinds of musicians all together and fill 1 hour. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Live, just see what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Not the just 1 minute thing or all the fake. No.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Before we close off with you, buddy, I'd like to know. Of course, we always ask artists that have been. Most artists that come on our show have been busy for a longer time.
Yeah.
So we usually ask for, have you been in any awkward situations, especially now that you've got the fur coat? Have you been in any? Seriously speaking, have you been in any awkward or funny situations during your music career? Because you've been busy for how long now?
3 years, I think. Very short. So
Yeah.
I have a few stories, but not
Well,
very funny.
Something was awkward or memorable.
The facts I'm forgetting your lyrics kind of stuff.
Yeah,
For a lot of people.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this was very awkward. Very awkward.
no funny stories in the studio doing a recordings or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, come on.
Now we get there.
No, it's fun because Tim Vermeulen has his opinions. It's very to the point. And when I was singing my stuff, I saw him sitting and always watching, and every time I made a mistake or something, he was like, "Oh no, it's very dramatic." And at the point, I couldn't sing anymore. I was like, "No, I can't sing anymore." So from that moment, we put the curtains down when I was singing. So I only heard his voice, but I didn't saw his face, and it was very good.
Okay, that puts you more to relax ease. Okay.
But we had a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Are there any little, let's say, wisdom tips you want to tell the young listeners out there that are stepping into the world that have very little experience that you want to leave behind? Tell our viewers.
I want to tell just to do it. Record an album or write your songs and do it. It's good to do it yourself. You don't have you don't need a major label anymore. I think you can do it all yourself. Your distribution, your everything. Of course, you have a little money to work for, but then you can do it all yourself and just do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And I tell you, we wish you a lot of luck on your album, Never Trust a Man in a Fur Coat.
Thanks.
And so if you want to know a little bit more about Tim and what he's doing and how to get in contact with him, you can reach us on the Rhythm Factory Video Podcast at gmail.com. Or did I say that right? The Rhythm Factory Podcast at gmail.com. Sorry. If you go to YouTube and you type in the Rhythm Video Podcast, you'll find Rhythm Factory Video Podcast. You'll find all of our shows, all of our films that we've done this past year. So they're there. You can look at them anytime you want when you go to YouTube. Please, on the YouTube page, hit the subscribe button at the top. If you speak Dutch, it's abonneer. And, of course, click like on the YouTube page as well as on our Facebook pages. On behalf of my co-host, Mr. Peter D., our special guest, Mr. Tim Treffers, my name is Eddie C. We want to thank you for tuning in and watching the Rhythm Factory video podcast. And we want to also say that we're going to take a break for the summer. We'll be back, though, after the summer with some new shows. And once again, have a wonderful summer and enjoy all that nice fun and sun. And remember, put a little bit of music in the background to brighten up your day. Signing out, Mr. Eddie C., the Rhythm Factory Podcast, Peter D., Tim Treffers, and we'll see you another time. Take care. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.